Fine, Chapada runs on. Incentivised finds though at the 100 metres. 3/4 Young Verder. Incentivised getting tired. Young Verder coming at it, but Incentivised is finding, and Incentivised has won.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. I've got DK in studio.
Morning, Scooty.
How are you?
Going all right.
Up and about?
Up and about, yeah.
Would be.
I was up and about till about the 400 metre mark at Mildura on Monday, but anyway, we'll talk about that on Tuesday.
You're on fire. Switch over to Telegram and just bang, bang, bang. Can't stop backing winners.
I was on fire. That thing didn't give a yop on Tuesday. Jeez, I'm still dirty on it. So after watching how slow it went in front, I just the data hasn't come out on the sectionals, but on the raw times. Morning, Nico.
Morning.
2.5 second, 1200 metre race, 2.5 seconds slower than the benchmark 58.
They did go slow. That was watching it. You could just tell they're walking.
And then so he's gone for it. At the 600, beautiful sprint home 600, Harry. And then at the 500, he's asking for it. Everything else is cruising with it. Oh, I'm off here. I'm off. And then that just turned into a sprint home, no margins. And anyway, but we'd had a good run before that, Scooty, and I think we've got a live one today. So give it strength.
Should be winning, and someone who was winning a lot of money yesterday was Nico Noonan. Welcome back, Nico. Lady Adelaide, Sudoku, Super Thief, into Rio.
It was a good day at sale.
Fat?
I think we sent out 6 on top.
Yeah, nice.
To be honest, I think we'll stiff not to send out 8 on top, to be honest.
I saw you said a couple got held up.
From Pantherland, like that tearaway leader, and he just led up the field and got caught late, and then Confrontational had absolutely no luck in race number 8 and was 50 metres past the post in front of him. So, good day, bit of momentum for Saturday, hopefully, punters.
Yes.
Huge. So we've got the live stream at this weekend against the Racing Rant. How are you feeling about it?
Well, I see they've added some big ins, some big inclusions there. So I saw a bit of their stuff on the Lismore Cup Day. They did their own little just comp between themselves and streamed it, and there's some good judges there. So it's going to be up against us. So as I said, just saying to Nico, sweating on the Hamilton fields for Saturday because it's bet anywhere and do your best. So I'll be one of my little, and Nico like it out the Western District meetings. I'm glad one of them was programmed. So be looking getting into the form of that this afternoon.
It's Hamilton Cup Day, so you got the Cup. I think you got a ballot race into that country sort of series final at Flemington. There's a sprint final as well that's at Flemington over the carnival. There's a ballot race in that. So you're going to have some deep sort of benchmark 64 and 70. You're going to have the Cup and then hopefully some deep maiden. So
I'll do
that could be a hitting ground.
That's it.
Could be where we turn over the most money. Funnily, let's have a quick look at the team lineup. So it's Bet Doctor versus Racing Rant, the New South Wales boys. A bit of state of origin type feel to it. And Nico, Case, myself, DK, and Shane Adair will dial in. So we're still
coming off a. I wish it was last week.
So You Can was a beauty, wasn't it?
What was that? A $7 winner in the last race. It's just
10 in.
Just what, and just what we need. Oh, not we need it, but geez, it'd be nice if we had the same.
Yep.
Just wind the clock forward a week and have that running for us. Oh, Shane's really keen on one in the last in Adelaide, so whatever happens, we're having a good crack at it. So we just hope that anyway.
Bit of get out and on the Racing Rant team. It's Mark Lambourne, who you're familiar with, Nigel Chaplin, Sooty. I don't know much about this punter, but he shot the lights out on Lismore Cup Day.
I had a good, so a few different, Mark we know. Nigel was, I saw him on the Lismore Cup Day.
He goes all right.
Little stream. Sooty was, he's a figures man. He was, he's very impressive on that day.
The Assaulter.
We know the Assaulter.
Secret Blaze.
He's dirty on us. He hasn't got another call up after having his good little first go in here, and then Pollock and Gordo, the Blasters. So
Master Blasters.
They're batting deep, aren't they? There's a big team assembled there.
It's like an NFL team. They got that on the roster.
And if you look at the roster, look at all the rosters, both rosters, everyone's got their own. Everyone's different. Every one of those 10 or however many people there got their own way of doing it, their own way to skin a cat. So many ways to do it in our caper, and that's one of the great things about it.
If you're keen to join the action, you can deposit anywhere between $50 and $1,000. Make sure you gamble responsibly. But I'm in for $1,000. I think the boys are in as well. And it's Little Birdie Pod, and you can just go to the Bet Doctor versus Racing Rant link. All the details there. You sign up through TopSport. We have to do it through TopSport from a regulation point of view. So they're the ones that take on us on the big bets. So it's hard to get down with other bookies, as you guys know. So that's why we choose TopSport. And I think we're going to close the bank at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. So I think the first race about 12:15 or around 12, and then the cameras will go on, or 12:30 or something like that. So it's going to be a 6-hour one-dayer. And it's going to be great fun. And CASIE McCUTCHEON's, captain our side. He's got the experience from the Money Valley Knights, and that was an absolute belter. That come down the last sort of 2 races. It was a bit of a fizz in the last race, but I think it was a big Group 1. I mean, I think Masked Crusader was the big Group 1, the finale there. So I think this will come down to the wire, and I think Craig Knotts
We're going in the underdog.
Yeah, we got marked
saw that
as
on
underdog
Twitter.
around $1.60 mark. I think he's got racing around, and we're around 240 out to 260
bit more
or something
experience,
like
I
that.
think, in the other. Just
I'm happy to go in underdog though.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Anything
So
can happen on the day,
underdog,
as you've seen in
absolutely.
previous streams. We've done a couple of streams, so it's not our first one. And I see the Racing Rank guys. They've done Lismore Cup and Port Macquarie in a couple of different areas, so they're well attuned to the format as well. So I'm interested to see where the banks land, and hopefully we can. Hopefully both guys win. It'd be good to get a nice big win over TopSport. But it's been a big week in. Last Saturday was a bit of another headache for me, and I guess DNO as well. Dallasan was off the map, $18.
Terrific again. What a good horse he is.
Unreal, eh?
Yeah,
I thought he had
never
every
let you down.
chance.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was right there. It's just blanket finish, and one horse gets their head down, and that's just the difference. So he just ran terrific. Jesus.
And Private Eye, the horse that that Dan signalled, I think, 3 weeks prior, said that was his Epsom horse, and I think you boys found it on your show about $17 or $26 or something around that sort of mark. So, and Big Parade was another one that bounced back. You can learn a lot off a couple of those ones. Tracks didn't suit, races didn't suit. Get to a big roomy track, it's a different setup, and then all of a sudden you get different results back to more suitable races and more suitable distances.
We saw with like the two, I suppose you could call them nearly biased tracks, the races at Rose Hill and then Randwick. You saw a lot of horses that were back and wide on that Randwick track that had no chance in that program that day. Come out like Masked Crusader. He didn't look like he did much that race where he was sort of running near last, and he comes out and wins on a fairer track. So could be the same sort of heading into Saturday with that Rose Hill Golden Rose sort of form starting to filter into a few meetings. There'll be a lot of forgive runs out of that, and there'll be a few that the market may miss. So I reckon that the Rant boys will be all over that. They're all over their biases and patterns, and that Gordo seems to be a freak at that. So there could definitely be a few there that they want to bet up on for sure.
It's interesting programming. Jake Norton, I think, does the program at Caulfield, and there's been a bit of conjecture about the Herbert Power last race of the card. Can you give us any insights there? I think the horses need to be tucked up in bed early. Do you make anything of that? Would horses know if it's an extra 3 hours, given they're going some of these Herbert Power horses will back up?
Well, they will, but there's still, the winner of the Coonji is going to back up into the Caulfield Cup, and that's on Wednesday. So it probably makes sense for the Coonji to be, close in the start of the program compared to the last race, which it usually is. But this race is usually the last race anyway. The Herbert Power.
Always, well, it has been.
It was the last race last year. Yucatan, when he won it, that was the last race of the
It
card.
was always the last race when I was a young bloke.
And the Saab, to get into the Melbourne Cup, those horses run really, really well when they run on Saturday, and then they're in the Melbourne Cup on the Tuesday, and they've gone over a 2,500 metre distance. So
They run that as race 3 or something. I don't know. The Saab.
a bit earlier. Anyway.
No, any excuse.
Mount-
Any excuse they look for, because if the horse doesn't back up and run well, they'll say, we didn't have the 5 hours before that we could have had if we were race number 1. So I'm a son of a trainer, and they look for any excuse.
They're the best.
What about Oakbank? There's a lot of coverage there. It sounds like a couple of trainers might have been a bit blindsided. It looks like there's a bit of a push from Racing Victoria to try and save the Oakbank races and transfer them to Victorian venues. It's a little bit of a basket case. And Shane Adair said that there's a bit of an anti-jumps racing sentiment in South Australia. So it's a delicate one. Any opinions?
I think Shane's right. Just reading the stuff I read, and I saw a few tweets Steve Pateman put out, or Matt Stewart wrote an article as well. I was listening to Shane Collins. Is it Shane Collins?
Yep.
There's an Oakbank guy on the radio.
CEO?
Yeah, CEO. Yeah. He was saying that I think it was more the cost to keep the track up and going just for that meeting. The steeple track itself, it's got an old sprinkler system, needs a lot of manual work, things like that. I think that was one of the costs to do that, and then other reasons. But now Sandy, the biggest people who are blindsided are the AJRA, the Australian Jump Race Association. So they've come in straight away and said, right, we can do something here.
Yep.
Sandy McGregor and that, we'll pay, we'll put up the cash, we'll help pay for the infrastructure and everything like that, and run those 2 races on your Easter weekend. So. But I don't know if Racing SA want to listen to them, or it is that anti-jumps racing sentiment where they.
Have either of you been to Oakbank?
Well, yeah, we went last.
He's always
You
won.
went last year?
Yeah,
That
we
was
won
Oakbank,
the Harry D. Young, so we'll go down as the last winner, or hopefully we can win it back to back. So even if I didn't have the winner of the race, I was blown away by the track.
It looks a real day out.
It's unbelievable, and I could just picture myself with a group of, say, I don't know, six or seven couples, get a house in the wine region, spend a whole week over there, go two lots of race days. And it's sort of the track and the atmosphere that, when you started out going to the races in the bush or the picnics or a real picturesque track like Hanging Rock or
grandstands,
or Kyneton or those sort of tracks, and that's how we all known to fall in love with the game. If you start taking away all those experiences, I worry about, I guess, the long-term viability of the sport for racing in Adelaide, full stop. A lot of people would have came into racing because of that Oakbank experience. And you can see the camaraderie, and it's like a pilgrimage to the bull now. So even mates of mine that have got a small interest in racing, they all want to come to the bull now. And that's because it's grown from over the last sort of 5 or 10 years, and it's like a folklore thing, and everyone wants to get down there and support the community and all that sort of thing. So I can see the benefit of this grassroots racing. So I think we need to keep reinvesting in it. It's no different to like Auskick and junior footy and country footy and those sort of things. Once you kill off that element of it, it starts to eat away at the city product, because we're just not a Hong Kong sort of product. We just can't be 2 days a week. We need to have 6 or 7 days racing.
Especially in South Australia, they race at the same track every Saturday. To be honest, it's a boring product. South Australian racing. You have weak horses. You have Victorian horses that go over there that are much superior. They get the rejects from Victoria that go over there and win this Saturday class races. Their only good horses they have are probably Behemoth, Geetra, Rossa. They've stepped up, but then the talent in their ranks is really in the young horses. I would have thought Oakbank's a big sort of draw.
It's only 2 races a year too. I think Racing Victoria, Victoria owns Jumps Racing now. We own it. It's our product. We're nearly the only state in Australia. But Oakbank is its own thing. It's an extension of it, and I think it's only 2 races a year. Don't need to run at Morpheville or wherever. If there was any others, was there Murray Bridge or some run them? I don't know. But they only need that one event, Easter, still make it a big event, and keep them running.
Because it's a quirky little track, but I think there'd be a lot of jumps people that haven't got the opportunity to go across that would probably have done the Warrnambool Carnival and like that. And there's definitely a crowd and a market for it. And to get back over there, I'd love to go back over there, but would I go back over there for benchmark 58s and bad racing and I don't know, does it take the shine off it, or if it's just one meeting and not the Von Duser meeting as well? And I don't know, it starts to lose its shine a little bit. If it was all just flats, would you go to the bull? Maybe not.
The shine of it is the jumps racing at Warrnambool. I watched the Grand Annual for the first time on the hill this year, and it's one of the best races I've ever seen. I've been to Cox Plates, Caulfield Cups, Melbourne Cups, the lot. And it stands out. Show, I think. It stands out as a race that just it's just going to be right up there in sort of my memory forever. Just watching that, and I imagine Oakbank. It's probably a similar sort of scenario with punters that go there. It just looks an outstanding sort of track to watch the race at as well. So many different angles to view in that, and even watching it on the TV, you can see how hard those horses do it. I think we were going to set a horse for Oakbank this year, Isa Blue, who's a sort of battling jumper, but I think he was probably going to be set and go, so that's sort of disappointing. You with Britannicus as well, so yeah, I think it's a big.
I hope for common sense prevails, but we'll see.
Hopefully they can bail it out, or we can find a way there. But it'll be difficult if there's the anti-jump sentiment. It'll be hard to sway SA racing, that's for sure. All right, it's going to be a cracking show today. We've got Muggs Morley shooting for 3 straight. Ellsberg, Montefilia. What's he going to come up with on today's show? The Mug punter. He's best at Randwick this week. Can't wait for that. The Spring Champion, and the Roman Consul, Mark Lambourne from Racing Rant. He'll be the sole ranter that we can start to rib about Saturday's stream. And Nico, you're going to do the Caulfield Stakes and the Toorak, but Casey's on the line now, and he's going to join us for the main event, the Group 1 Caulfield Guineas, the captain of the Bet Dr. Sire. We've put him in. He's got the experience. He wore the big V. He did him proud, although he got beat. He's got the experience from Money Valley Nights. But Case, welcome to the show.
Good morning, punters. Good morning, bet doctors. Skipper, that's a bit of a Richie Vandenberg's-esque selection, I would have thought, based on ability and experience. But look, proud to be part of this group. Exciting to be the underdogs taking on a red-hot Racing Rant. I think, the sky's the limit for us on Saturday, boys, with this combination. It's Christmas Day. I would have had my Santa suit on if it wasn't in storage. I'll tell you what, this is the day. For me personally, everyone has their favourite day. It's not only Guineas Day, the card that we see every year, each and every year. we get Syndicate Day. The boys and girls at home will know what that means. If you're in a syndicate, our Syndicate Day always front lawn Caulfield Guineas. Some 20 years ago, it was plucked from the younger 18s of Oak Park Football Club by some of the greatest men you'd ever seen drink at Carlton Draft. Every year, front lawn Caulfield Guineas Day. So that's why just heavily in season ahead of this meeting every year, we're parked on that gorgeous front lawn surrounded by fillies, and not just fillies. Caulfield fillies. Caulfield fillies. It's the greatest day of the year. I couldn't be more excited.
Pretty good optic nerve. I remember those sort of days back in the Regal Roller S days. I was rolling around myself at Caulfield, just in heaven. Really, it was one of the best pervs on the circuit. Caulfield, all the private school girls. As a boy from Albury, I didn't know which way to look. But let's have a quick look at the market for the Caulfield Guineas. We've got Animo favourite here, 270 into 250. Artorius, one of CASIE's pin-up horses. $4 into 370. Tiger Malay's been a bit of a mover, 15 into 10. Mr. Mozart is 17 into 13. Lightsaber, Nico tipped this up last start, $14. Alpine Edge, 16 for Got You. From DK's favourite Camp, the Busset and Young, $16. Cap Devant, 26. Giannis, the Greek Freak, $26. And better the rest. Case, let's have a quick look at the Golden Rose and talk us through this one. Animo, it's a bit of a nightmare horse.
Yeah, this was the day. It just didn't quite come together. And I think all credit to the winner. I don't think it's getting enough credit in this defeat of Animo. It's just when you have a look at the sectionals that Tim Clark was peeling off in front here on this leader, it was just 11 threes or something, just through the race. Animo lifted, tried everything it could. It's run a bottler. Nothing wrong with the run, but because it doesn't get the chocolates, we cool slightly somewhat. I don't know. I think that there's no reason to sack Animo on that run. When we have a look at the barrier draw again, is that another reason to possibly? How are we going to feel on Saturday when it comes out and does what Autumn Sun did, or a couple of those other freaks that have come through this race? We look through the history of this race. It is just you got DK's vintage of Manicato. We got Red Anchor that did the Guineas Cox Plate Treble. Imagine
how old do you think I am,
in this day and age. Were you there? No,
I was there for Testarossa and Reduced Choice. That's the first one I can remember.
One of the greatest
15 years later after
Medicaid.
Oh, was it? Mate, I was in underneath where where the bookies are now, but underneath the main grandstand when they were coming up the home straight. The joint was just rocked, dead set rocked. And Greg Miles, and you couldn't hear him at the 200 metre mark. But it was something else with those two horses going for the last 200 metres. It was pulsating. It was unbelievable. So that's my first Caulfield Guineas memory. Yeah, Reduce and Testarossa.
I was at the Albury Race Club and I can remember I backed Testarossa and my mate was on Reduce Choose and I think he gave me about 7 punches into the ribs. And I'll never forget that. So I went the wrong way. So hopefully on Saturday I go the right way. Fascinating contest, yeah. It's you got Sleepy Ollie from barrier 15, Nico Noonan. What's he going to do here? Is he going to try and park 3 wide, or he'll leave it up in the air, or will he just snag back? Because he loves a snag back.
It's going to be fascinating because if you can get 3 wide, sort of stuck there at the 1600 metre start, working up the hill, and it's not ideal, but I think this map isn't as bad as some people are making it out. I think you'll probably look to get on the back of Captivon if he runs, and then probably slot into the 3 wide sort of running line. I reckon it'll be midfield, sort of just working. I don't think they'll send him right forward. I think they'll just try and get into the running line, sort of 3 wide, then produce him at the top of the straight. Artorius, I think, has the worst map because Animo probably has the option if he does jump well, or you can go, all right, well, there's not much speed underneath me, bang, send him right forward. Whereas Artorius just never gets out of the barriers. He has no tactical speed. He can't use barrier number 2. Animo is going to have to overcome probably sitting 3 wide the trip and show how good a horse he is. Whereas Artorius is going to need a lot of luck and a lot of things to play out for him. And probably if he gets that luck, he can show that. But he's going to have to get that first, whereas Animo just has to show it by doing it the hard way.
At Caulfield as well, which is going to be tricky for the heavens to part for him at Caulfield. Flemington, the big Flemington straight, be a completely different kettle of fish. But
I think they're
probably fall back the rail.
Oh, yeah.
It's
going to be a tricky watch if you're on there, but you got the right man for the job, D Lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's good at weaving his way through the field.
Is he what?
Having looked at the replays, I would have thought that to my eye, Artorias was more suited. But yeah, the barrier draw's just throwing this race right up in the air. Is there a roughie? Is your horse Lightsaber capable?
I think he's capable. I think he's probably the best of the Melbourne sort of colts. I know last start in the Guineas Prix they didn't rate that well, so he may drift in the market, although he maps well. But he's just tough, this horse. Every time they sort of come at him when he's been racing on speed, his first 2 runs this preparation, they rode him back just to hit out. Last start, put him on speed, fought them all off. He fought them all off in the sires. You can tie his form into Animo. Like, he started $8 in the sires produce. He ran last there, but he was at the end of his campaign. So I think he's probably the best of the rest. I think one of Animo or Artorias probably winning. You could probably back Lightsaber 1/3 if you really wanted to.
DK, any thoughts here? Or
I'll be watching on.
You've got Animo beat.
I got him beat last start.
Yeah.
Well, what do I say? Everyone's just calling him a moral. I said, yeah, he might be a moral till he draws 14 or 14. What did he draw 15? So he's got to overcome that. He's a very good colt. He's just, I think the issue, if Artorias had drawn better, then I'd then be more confident about him getting rolled. But geez, that's an ordinary barrier for Artorias. So I'll be watching, mate. I'll be just buried in Hamilton and looking up to enjoy the spectacle.
Case, without giving too much away, which way are you leaning on the Caulfield Guineas? If you gun to your head, you have to have a bet, or we're on the canvas at that stage. I don't think we will be, but if we need a Hail Mary, what's the horse that's going to get us out in this race?
If we're searching for value, I think among the 18 runners that Buston and Young have, I think Forgot You, some of those Midi Valley wins were seriously impressive, and it's one of the ones that might just get a decent sit. It's got some tactical speed early and finishes off like a train. So it and Giannis I've got just parking in a nice little spot. So if any misfortune comes for the favourites, I think that those two could run over the top, because I think there's no natural leader in the race either. It's going to be an interesting speed battle or lack of speed battle. Coastwatch is running in Sydney. It's out, so Hitotsu comes in. And I've just got, no natural leader like a Grand Slam we had last year. And something like Giannis and Forgot You could be getting a nice park just off them. And if they launch at the right time, they might pinch that break. They might be sitting ducks for a steam train coming down the outside, but they're the value for mine.
All right, Case, we might put you on ice now. You can ice the plums, or you can just get yourself lubed up, or get a bit of a deep heat rub and get on the table there and get excited. I want you to do just deep form and have a couple of scotches. I know you're accustomed to that, so burn the midnight oil and get ready for Saturday, and I'm sure you're... I'm interested to see if you're going to come in costume on Saturday.
Mate, it's all game face on Saturday, mate. There'll be no mucking around. Actually, but I'll just crack a shivers now and work through the card, and just the smell of liniment filling the nostrils in here, punters. I'm just getting ready to go. I can't wait.
Going to be grouse. That's Casey McCutcheon, mint bet. He can't get on track for the picnics or Flemington. He's stuck, so he's going to come into the Little Birdie bunker, and he's going to help us pull apart Racing Rant. One of his good mates, Jason Azzopardi, is on the opposition, so there's extra incentive for him to win. So make sure you check out Little Birdie Pod and head to the Bet Doctor versus Racing Rant to jump on board the stream. It's going to be an absolute corker, and it's going to be fascinating to see how the map plays out in the Guineas, and definitely a big watch on the track. If it's leaderish, or if it's favouring swoopers, or inside runs are favoured, it's going to go a long way to finding the winner there. Thanks, Case. Good luck.
On you, boys. I'll see you on Saturday.
All right, let's get straight into it. We might as well kick across to the Caulfield Stakes, race 6 on the card, and I'll get a market update here. As there's not much fat in the market here with Zaki. He's just been one for, I guess, the big players, the bank interest type punters. He's $1.22 into 120 at TopSport. Probabile $6.50, Homesman 11, Non-Conformist $16, No Effort 41, and Nickerjack Cave. The import from the Moody Yard is $51 there. Interesting. I like the setup for non-conformists looking into the Caulfield Cup. This is a really good platform, 2,000 metres into the back up here. But Zaki, Nico, let's have a quick look at the Underwood Stakes first and talk us through this. You've got Superstorm, Probabile.
Well, what's there to say, really? It was just way too good for him. Don't think we saw anywhere near the best of him. Don't think we had to. I don't think Willow even asked him for anywhere near his best. He was just there for a bit of a hit out, wasn't he, DK? It was just like a trial.
Yeah, have a look at him. Willow's not knocking him around, just laying in a bit there, just giving him a little steer at the left where Prepple's flat out on. He's the second pick there, Probabile. Yeah, so that was second up, outside lead in a moderately run race. Never a great spot for a strong one pacer like him. So, no, you expect him to bounce off that.
I think the most fascinating part of this race is you got no effort into this race in Homesman. So it's, although he's taken on Probable again, she's the only horse that comes out of that Underwood Stakes. You see 6-horse field and you think they might go slow here. No effort's going to have a lot of intent here. Like, they're there to run second or third. That's what they want. They want the Group 1 sort of placing on the CV as a broodmare. We've seen from her before, she can go out and go, plus 12, plus 13 to the 600 metre mark and keep kicking. Any rain around's going to help her. So I think she's going to set up a fast tempo. Homesman's probably going to go with her. That probably leaves Zaki 1 out, 1 back, 2 pairs back, 1 off. I think we're going to see
proper Zaki
there on Saturday. I think he wins by 3 or 4. We're going to see, all the doubters that come out last start and say, is he as good in Melbourne, all those kinds of things. That was just a hit out for a race like this where he's going to really tune up. And then Cox Plate's obviously grand final day.
He just seems bomb-proof. His last 5 wins, 5 different tracks.
Yeah,
easy as you like.
Slow tempo, fast tempo.
This is going to, as Nico said, this is going to set up perfect for him.
Yep. So, look, I think he should be shorter than $1.20, to be honest. I reckon he should be. I don't think he'll start shorter, but I think you could make a real case he should be $1.10. Like, there's just not many scenarios where he's going to get beat here. I think Homesman's probably the horse if you're a Quinella player or you're real sick and you want to sort of bet that way.
Non-conformist won't be there he'll be just going there.
He'll just get back, hit the line. Nickajack Cave, get back, hit the line. Probable's a real suspect at 2,000 metres if it's a strong run 2,000. Homesman's going to need a good hit out before his Caulfield Cup. He'll be there on speed. He ran second to Zaki in the Q22, so if there was a danger, it's maybe Homesman. But if you're looking to play Quinella or something like that, I think Homesman's the horse.
All right, let's have a look at the Toorak handicap and market courtesy of TopSport. I'm Thunderstruck, already been back 280 into 250. Can't help themselves, the punters. Early, Elephant 5 into 480. Dice roll 950. Really good run last start. Sierra Sue $11. Tofane $11. Superstorm $13. Second Slip 15. Michi on board there. So you assume 21. Harbour Views $26. ASAR 31. Embolism, Quantum Mechanic, similar quote. Luna Fox 67 and Irish Flame 101. We're going to have a look at 2 replays here. I think the first one we're going to have a look at is the Fee and Stakes, and we see Elephant in the yellow with the purple, and in the pink you've got Superstorm just on its back there. Non-conformist, you can see the chosen one. There's a few different little horses here, and then you've got Sierra Sue just sort of held up a little bit and couldn't find a way through there.
Gee, we love reliving a bit of pain on this show, don't we? Elephant getting rolled by nose. This was at weight for age. Now they come back to handicap levels because you can see Superstorm just gets the better of Elephant there. So now
Sierra Sue should have beaten both of them.
She should have beaten both of them, and then she come out and won the Rupert Clark. Now she's so poorly off at the weights at 56 kilos relative to the horses she met in the Rupert Clark. Elephant's probably the horse to probably take out of that Fee, and he's since been to the Sandown Stakes and ran really well. Won really well, I should say. This is the Rupert Clark. I'm Thunderstruck, just got into a bit of a sort of dogfight out the back there, got bullied around, bumped around. I think if that doesn't happen, he definitely wins the race. He's really strong late. He drew 16 to 16 that day, so he had the run where he could sort of build his momentum until that point in the race where he got the bump. Now he's drawn barrier number 4, so where he sort of finds the luck in this race, it's probably going to be crucial in how close he can sit to these horses. If he's slow away or anything like that, he's probably in a similar spot to Artorias, if Jai can get him out the barriers and sit, 5th or 6th, like the stable are hoping to. I heard them on sort of interviews yesterday say that. I think he's definitely the horse to beat. He stays in right on below the minimum at 52 kilos. He probably should have won that race, and now he doesn't cop any weight penalty.
That's right. That was the only upside from getting beat there.
1,600 metres tick. He definitely looks the horse to beat for sure.
It's an interesting one with Superstorm. It's got that real Bob Peters setup, 1,800 metres back down to 1,600 metres. So they had the run around Zaki. So it's typical for that stable to throw them in a 2,000 metre race, go back to a mile or go back to 1,800, and then Elephant comes off the Sandown Stakes. So a few of these, and Sierra Sue. So it's going to be a really genuine run 1,600, this, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he ran in this race last year, Superstorm, and had no luck back in the field, and he dropped back from the Turnbull the week before. So trying to implement some sort of similarity there, coming back from the 1800, gets the blinkers back on, which he had in this the fee in there where he beat Elephant, and the run prior was good behind Sierra Suit. So that form all they're all very timeable, this lot. I think I'm Thunderstruck's the best of them. He still can do a few things wrong, maybe with the fast tempo like last start, and probably a predicted fast tempo again here. They'll sort of iron out those chinks that he has. I think it'd be hard to beat. $2.50 is getting short enough, though.
To the mile, I'm Thunderstruck, DK. Any query?
No.
It'd be sweet.
It looks like he'll eat a mile. Yeah, the way he finished off the other day, and everything he's done looks that's right up his alley. So, yeah, with the lightweight in a handicap, just that barrier where he ends up again from the inside draw. So that he might have to navigate some traffic. But with the lightweight, it's easy to accelerate with the lightweight, so looks hard to beat to me.
Okay, so we're probably just going to sit on the fence a little bit here. We probably don't want to give too much away to Racing Rant, guys, but the track is going to be
that's the other thing.
Ultra important. How Caulfield's going to play is going to be.
I was going to say that earlier. That'll play into Damien Oliver's mind on how hard he goes, or what he does with Animo. If it's an on-pace sort of Caulfield track, they'll know by that time of the day. He
try
might
and take the sit and push forward.
Bit more forward and try and slide in, rather than if it's a fair track, he might be a bit more conservative.
Got a few aces up the sleeve early. I think it's just like how the track's going to play, all those kind of factors. A few of them probably going to need a bit of luck. So if we get the luck on our side, I'm confident we can get a result out of Caulfield. But a few up the sleeve early that might be horses we can look to have a play at for sure.
Be good. Get off to a good start is key in these things. It's hard to do.
Bit of momentum. That's what we need. We'll all be doing the form with puntingform.com.au. $2.97 for their sectional pro form pack per month. It's sensational stuff. It's definitely been a game changer for me. So make sure you check it out and support the people that support us. Puntingform.com.au. We'll take a break and we'll hear from the other side. We'll hear from Mark Lambourne, Racing Rant, and see what he's got to say about the Randwick card. Welcome back to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. We've got DK in studio and Nico Noonan, and it's time to talk Sydney racing. It's time to talk to the enemy, Mark Lambourne from Racing Rant. How are you?
Ready and pumped, Scoot. Big day Saturday. It's gloves off.
Battle Royale. Can't wait. It's you've included a couple of one surprise packet that I don't know much about. Sooty. Most Rant followers would be familiar with Nigel Chaplin, and as has been on the show, everyone knows Glenster, Gordo, yourself. But Sooty's this surprise packet that shot the lights out on Lismore Cup Day. Tell us about him.
He did indeed. Look, he's infamous for these legendary Hong Kong sets. He's a ratings man that tends to find the $8 to $10 chances that are live, and he's he's a valuable member of the team because he sort of perhaps looks away from the obvious.
Well, okay.
That's dangerous, isn't it?
I can feel a second stream coming on here. Sooty in Hong Kong versus Fletch in Hong Kong. That would be an absolute cracker.
There you go. That's it.
Definitely be up for it.
I had a good gig at the Lismore Cup Day that Mark and the boys did, and I had my database, and I was listening to Sooty, and then you'd go and look at the horses he'd find, and God, how's he found it? And then they'd ask him, say, Sooty, tell us. He said, I'm figures, and go back to apples for apples and same class and things like that. And it's just, as Mark said on the day, everyone does it differently. What works for him, he trial and errored a lot of things. It's what works for him, and he was fascinating to watch. It was great stuff, Mark.
Yes, well, you would appreciate DK, particularly, betting, playing to your strength. It's a tried and true approach for those of us that have been in the game for a bit.
Yep.
Do whatever works for you and stick to it, and just repeat, and stay confident.
It is, and it. Every day you sort of, and you drum that process into yourself, just day after day after day. And that's
stick to your lane, DK.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
Yes, I got out of my lane on Monday again and copped a penalty, but anyway, can't help it.
Well, I think it's something that you're going to do from time to time, and you just need that reminder. It is hard to do.
I think staying confident, is one of the biggest things, and I know Dan speaks about it as well. Just find your patch of winners. Everyone's going to find their own patch of winners in different areas. DK's got his out wide stuff. And yeah, you got to do what works for you. Nico's found his little niche.
Nico's got the yard and stuff.
Yeah, I'm better at sort of setups and seeing where trainers are going to peak horses. That's where I can sort of.
I thought you were going to say you found your winners next to you.
No, they are too.
Adjacent to you.
Yeah, they are. Everyone's up and about at the moment. We're starting to hit form at the right time. So Nico had 6 winners yesterday on top, and DK, since he switched over to Telegram, he went 4 in a row or something like that.
Oh, well,
you've got us at a good time.
I definitely may have picked.
No, we'll be fine. A nice deep cards. Both tracks at Secaucus. What were you going to say, DK?
I was just going to say before we move on. Speaking of Dan O, he put out a great tweet this morning. I don't know if you caught it, Mark, but he said, "Data in racing is a huge asset. I'm one of the biggest data nerds in the game. However, it's important not to get carried away with it and think racing analysis is a science. It's just as much an art form. Embrace both elements of the game and you'll be better for it."
Well, I'd say
that was a wonderful tweet to wake up to.
I'd say Pearl is a bit of an artist as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all artists.
Well, I've had to battle through a long career of not having constructed or having access to some of the deep data that both Danny O and Paul Daly and the other sort of data practitioners have had. Rob Waterhouse, obviously king of the numbers. So yeah, I've had to pick my way through that minefield that is, how do I access enough data, and what do I do with that? How do I analyze that data, or how do I paint the pretty picture with those numbers?
Yeah, and everyone talks about what the syndicates are doing, and to try and figure out what others are doing is also an edge and why the markets are moving or why they've come up with things. And that's something that we all try and do. And as a smaller player, that's what you need to do. You got to figure out where you are in the ecosystem and figure out what everyone else is doing. So it's a game of cat and mouse. And I tell you what, there'll be a big game of cat and mouse on Saturday when we've got these 2 banks, and I'm as excited about how people are going to play each other as well, to see what happens when the whips start cracking sort of deeper in the card. There's going to be some fascinating side banter, and I can't wait because everyone will be full of confidence and tails up, I reckon. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out.
All right, well, let's talk about the meetings concerning us.
All right, let's have a look I'll look at the market first and the Roman Consul. All right, I think we've got a really short favourite here. Polelli, horse that we've spoken about on the show before, $2.10. Glen Eagles, $6. Sword of the State, $6. King of Sparta, $7.50. O Present, $11. A Very Fine Red, $15. Tristate, $15. $34 or better the rest. Fire away, Perla.
So I don't know if you're aware that last week when we came back to Randwick for the feature program, we were feeding off a Randwick program 2 weeks before that was very much fence in run, and we got a fair track on Saturday, and that fence form was showing up big time. We've got another situation this Saturday where the predominant feed is Rose Hill, and Rose Hill is up and in nearly all the time, and certainly was for their return meeting 2 weeks ago. So in this race, you've seen Paul Alley getting into second position there, sort of heading out after home affairs, but leaving his run too late. In that race, 3 of Saturday's contestants actually sat 3 deep in the run. Sword of State was 3 deep on the speed, nasty spot for him. It was an horrific Australian debut position. Paul Ailey was 3 deep on the back of the speed, or just off the speed, and King of Sparta was 3 deep at the back of the field. So having said all that, obviously Paul Ailey was best finish. It was shortest price. As I say, he wasn't advantaged by his lane, and he returns to his happy place of Randwick. So it's easy to see why punters might want to butter up to a short price Paul Ailey. We've got, certainly it is possible to recommend the other 2, Sword of State just getting going, and King of Sparta trying to come from that back position in the wrong lane in a race that they quickened up through the race. So, I mean, certainly they've got claims, and if Paul Ailey is feeling a bit jaded, they're there to ask the question, but I certainly wouldn't be looking away from the favourite just yet.
Glen Eagles has got the run to the Rose form, and then Shifty Mr. Waller.
Yeah, but down the outside in the fast lane there at Kembla. So that was a day where the fence was off at Kembla, and the quicksand horses are the horses that have featured since then. So it's been very much a tale of 2 tracks for the last month or so where we had the wide day at Kembla, we had the fence day at Randwick, we had the fence day at Rose Hill. And some will argue that it was a wide day at Randwick last week. I'm not convinced, but certainly those three meetings, those three lead-in meetings, Kembla, Randwick and Rose Hill in September were strongly biased, and the way to play them has been to lay the flatterers and to find the horses that were definitely hidden away in the wrong lane.
What did you make of President in the Skyline, Mr. Waller's horse?
Not much. It was just one of those. Oh, hello! I flopped onto the lead. Where are the chasers? It came off a Canterbury night win where he made all, and he just had a bit of a birthday. It'll be interesting to see how he comes back, but it's not Waller second prep; it's sort of Waller third prep ish. So I'm not scared. Put it that way.
Okay, all right. So Polelli might be the way to go, according to Mark. But
this could be a key lead up to the Coolmore. Usually, this race and a few others sort of link up. The Everest is kind of taken away from this race a little bit. Like back in the day, you probably saw. I think Zoustar won this race and Brazen Bow sort of go on to, I think Brazen Bow won the Coolmore. So Palali's probably on that sort of course. And like Mark said, he gets
more exposed than those other horses, Palali, I wonder.
He is. He does get back to the scene of the crime of that big win at Randwick because it was 1100, but he produced some good figures on that day. I don't know if he's their A seed for a Coolmore, but he looks like the horse that's probably going to get there.
He's the tradesman of the team, I think.
Oh, well, it might be
pretty handy tradesman.
Chips in job for the racing rant on Polelli.
I saw there's a horse in this race called A Very Fine Red, and it's just reminds me of I ordered a dozen of the Very Fine Reds back on the 25th of the 8th to be sent by Australia Post. And then someone put out a photo of the Sunshine Australia Post depot there the other day, and I'll be lucky to get it by Christmas.
Cactus,
mate, I'm filled.
But I thought you were turning up late card Saturday for the red that's been organised.
Because of the commiserations red. We'll be all right. Anyway, where do I get it from? Anyone wants a tip?
Somewhere in Adelaide.
Magella. Yeah, Magella. Oh, Magella's the grouse from the Coonawarra.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Mickey Mouse. Yeah, so Magella. But anyway.
I had a 3-week delay on my Clover Hill champagne.
3 weeks?
Out of Tassie.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
So there's big problems.
Big problems.
Big problems at Australia Post, and that's where our Mug Punter, he works at Australia Post.
They're doing their best.
He's doing their best. When he saw all the pellets on the news there.
He might have taken a few weeks off. He's been finding too many morals.
I'm sure he'll be in the live chat. So what you can do is you can jump on Little Birdie TV. We're going to host the stream from our YouTube channel, and you can start firing in questions, banner. You can troll us. You can do whatever you like. We'll try and answer as many. It's going to be a big knock. It's like a day-nighter, one-dayer, 6 hours in the chair. So there'll be plenty of time to ask questions and stir each other up. So it's going to be an absolute beauty. The main course up in Randwick is a spring champion, and we'll get the odds courtesy of TopSport on the screen now, and it's Profondo. Bit wayward last start, $3.20 favourite here, head of state. A bit of a tradesman-like performance last time, $3.90. Never been kissed. Gay's going to back this one up. It looks like from the flight stakes, $4.60. Allegron at $10. Benode was a nice little sneaky run, $11 last start. Chill, $21. Bulu, $21. Inverell, $21. French Emperor, $26. And much, much better the rest. We're going to have a look at the gloaming last time, and you can just see Profondo probably needs a new steering wheel here. You've got Allegron back on the Godolphin blue. Profondo's in the white, the lit colours, and he's head of state in the blue.
Well, the dark blue.
Benno's in the grey, weaving through. Thoughts here, Mark?
Oh, well, everyone's seen Profondo. Robbie Dolan switched hands with the whip, and as soon as he hit it with the left hand, it ran straight into the fence. So not totally unexpected from a horse as lightly raced as he is. He was having his second start in that race. So it was seemed ambitious, obviously nearly a $2 million yearling, so very, very high hopes. And he's performed very creditably in his 2 runs. Many will say, well, look, he's the horse that's got stacks of improvement going into the spring champion. He probably has, but he's also tackling a pretty seasoned sort of affair that I've got him on top because he was started shortest in the gloaming and probably ran the best race. just going back to that race, that was on that Rosehill card where you wanted to be fence in run. Profundo was one out, one back. Head of State was in the one-off line mid-back. Benno was rails back, so he was flattered certainly as far as I could see. But Allegron was the horse that was really in the nasty spot there, albeit with cover, but in the 3 wide lanes. So on Saturday, we've got a 5-metre rail at Randwick, which at the 2,000 metre start, if you see a head on at the 2,000 metre start, they start on a bend. Allegron's got the sneaky draw that will, in fact, just back on Allegron, he's been a victim of the bias the last 2 starts and came back to get a very cushy run in this race. I presume that Gaybot's filly will probably try and take it up. And she's New Zealand bred, so she's right in the mix there. And the filly won the race last year and a few years ago with First Seal. So what do I say? I say 5-2 Profundo. I say 7-2 Head of State, who I think was better than Tradesman. His last 2 runs have really been very focused. 5-1 the filly and 7-1 Allegron. So at current prices, he will be my bet.
It's an interesting one, this one. I think Profundo looks like a horse to my eye that's got a fair bit of upside. And then I did a little bit of grubbery during the week. I took a little bit of $21 Allegron to win the Derby. Being a gelding, I thought
too strong.
This is the horse I want to be on for the Derby. I thought Huey might be on the Derby trail with the horse like Benno. He's only had 2 starts. I like Allegron's platform from a Derby. I think he's going to hold up to it. And I think that being gelding, he's not going to go down a Cox Plate route, hopefully. And I think that'd be his ultimate grand final, Allegron, for the Derby Day. So hopefully you can still get about $20 out there. So it's a nice little spec there. What were you going to say, Deco?
Yeah, all the 3-year-old stayers I know roll down here, Gunstock and Tis Magic and all that ran the other day. And having a look at them, if they're the Derby favourites, I'll be looking for something left field. And I would say that's a pretty good spec, Scoots. Something from a bit of SF. Might be the go in the Derby this year.
Profundo was interesting in that race. Sort of, he was all wayward in the straight and all those things. But once he got through the line, he was much stronger than Head of State. He
raced away from Head of State.
Completely.
But I mean, Ardolan's got a big gig here. This is, for a guy that's done very little riding lately. And as I say, it's a start that's going to be on a bend, and it's going to favour horses that get sweet runs. So he's got a big assignment, put it that way.
I think if you swap the riders,
that's probably the on the face of it, he could be an even money chance, but it's the race shape and other bits and pieces that obviously lengthen his price.
Yeah, I reckon if you cop J-Mac on Profundo and say Dolan was on Head of State, Profundo would be $230, wouldn't he? That's why the price is probably holding
Profundo
up.
be odds on because J-Mac on and J-Mac off, they're massive. So if it was J-Mac to I know K-Mac, for example, on Head of State, the Head of State would be barely in the market.
Can a horse like Profundo, if Profundo's an emphatic winner of this race, can he turn up into a Cox Plate, 3-year-old into a Cox Plate?
Well, those connections have already been there, so I'd say that they'd be trying their luck. They're not afraid, are they? I mean, here's a horse running in a Group 1 at his 3rd start, which at over 2,000, which is sounds ambitious from the get-go.
So Philly got any here? Never been kissed on the quick backup?
She's done nothing wrong in her runs. She was another horse that in the lead up to the Flight Stakes, the T-Rose, she was 3 wide, no cover on the fence day at Randwick, the 7-metre rail. So she then got into the Flight Stakes last week. I marked her $17 and she just box seated and got through there and whacked away and managed to hold off another horse that had a sweet run back on the rails there, Hinged. So she's a little overachiever, shall I say. Started out wide, stayed out wide, had her first city run in the T-Rose Stakes, and then has obviously got the job done last week. Whether or not a filly is capable in this race depends on the worth of the crop. And if you're saying that the 3-year-olds are meh, then that obviously promotes her chances. I know that good old Adam Blenko has said that the current crop of 4-year-olds are no good, which perhaps explains Montefilia's win in this race last year, albeit she had a pretty sweet run. But look, it's interesting to say. I'm very pleased that Gay has chucked the filly in there, and she'll be keeping the boys honest, if nothing else.
And just on while on Never Been Kissed, Regan Bayless was great sort of for us to see him put those Group 1s together on the weekend. Had he sort of been building towards that mark? I thought we sort of a few months ago we thought he might have come home with his tail between his legs, but he's really stuck it out.
It depends on your partner, doesn't it? So he turned up to Sydney, and Sydney's a hard, tough gig anyway, we all know that. Yeah. Turned up to Sydney and was riding everything that Anthony Cummings put down. Well, look, right. Anthony Cummings has got some good stock and he can train, but he puts his horse. He never puts his horses in the right class. So you had a situation where Regan Bayless was riding 33-1 chances day after day after day, and in the furnace that this joint is, that was not going to help him. In the last few months, I don't know whether whether he's reorganised his associations, but he's definitely been riding for trainers that, shall we say, have a better strike rate. And that has been key to unearthing, in Sydney terms, his talent. He's been a Hong Kong rider, so we know he must be a hot rider. So it's one of those things where Sydney can make you look pretty bad.
And he looked particularly good throwing those horses across the line, I thought, getting down low and really, he just really noticed. I saw both finishes. He got really through his through their necks out and his body low over there.
And when we saw him here in Victoria, like he was sort of in that crop with Jai McNeil and all those sort of riders, and he was probably the best of them. And then he, of course, went to Hong Kong, and I think now he's just got his momentum up, 2 Group 1 wins. He's obviously going to get, some quality rides here on in. Can he ride light? I'm not sure how
he's pretty tall,
light he can go. Yeah. So
anyway,
maybe some opportunities to come later in the spring as well.
Mark,
it'll depend on whether we can shed some of our jockeys down to you. I don't know what the setup is. I'm not sort of.
Well, that's right. That's another big
with the politics.
Played in his favour is the COVID, and same with the second tier riders down here getting their chances, and be the same up there.
If I was going to have a bet,
poor old G Boss has missed the ride on incentivised.
If I was going to have a bet right now, if they can come down for the cups, I'd be saying yes.
Yes.
Okay.
They're just starting to slip. Yeah, it's easier to get over the border now, but still this quarantine issue needs to go away. So, yeah, it's a tricky one.
If they want to come, they might have to commit this weekend.
Fascinating to see how it plays out. But with the Everest in a couple of weeks' time, it's still probably unlikely. Mark, how do you feel about having the favourite tag coming in as red-hot favourites to knock us off on Saturday? Some people in the Twitter sphere have prices $1.10, $1.30 out to somewhere around $1.70. We're happy to be the underdog, but you guys must be pretty confident.
I don't know how you can possibly be the underdogs. You've got the form on the board. We're first starters.
Go away.
Who's pricing this market?
Mr. Craig Knight.
They got the hot trials.
A couple other racing
trial group is jumping in.
Hey? They're all. Yeah.
Or was it 4-7 and 13-8 or something? Was it?
Yeah, and it's, you could get about $9 somewhere in a different market for us. I wouldn't mind snipping that. We might just take that and arb it out.
Oh, there's nothing better than a price like that in a 2-horse race. I mean, that's the beauty of sports betting is that they, some of these contests can lose sight of the nature of the contest. Which, when there's only 2 contestants, it's hard to be that wide.
We'll be both doing our best to strip TopSport, that's for sure, and the ego battle will be on for Young and I. What do you say, DK? I
always meant to ask him, but it slipped my mind. Any pearls lately, Mark?
Yeah, you got a pearl.
The great pearl, or anything at the top of your mind at the moment?
Look, I might just save some for Saturday. You'll have to stay.
Okay. A bit of content.
We've got 6 hours to drop it.
Content. Make a list.
A lot of filler.
Yeah, look, it hasn't been a feature of recent shows, more because obviously they get thinner and thinner on the ground, don't they? But new ones are always occurring. I do have some up my sleeve that I'll poke into the appropriate place on Saturday.
No, give us one. A little bit of you just won't let us have it before we do our form.
Well, and you can read. I mean, those used to go back.
Here's one for you.
Here we go,
DK. So. If you look at the pace of a race, so a fast run race will assist inside draws, and a slowly run race will assist outside draws. I'm not saying a lot there, but it's interesting when you get those fast run races, particularly when they go around more than one bend, how that will assist those horses that are on the, that are drawn low generally find inside runs. And what happens in those fast run races is that the shape of the field is a bit more broken, and that clearly tends to take out of the equation horses being held up and waiting for runs.
I like it. It's good.
Well, there's something. All right, can't wait to see you on the stream at midday on Saturday, and may the best team win.
Indeed, and I look forward to it. Can't wait. Thanks, Scoot.
Cool. All right, that was Mark Lambourne from Rant Racing or Racing Rant. Make sure you head to TopSport, go into the benefits live stream section. If you want to support the Rant boys, think they can knock us off, you can deposit anywhere between $50 and $1,000 there. So make sure you get around the Rant boys. I'm sure it's going to be one hell of a fight. All right, it's time for our next segment, which is Muggs Moral. He was huge last week, Montefilia, $6. Ellsberg the week before, around the $3 mark. And now he's got a video for you guys at home now.
Hi guys, Muggs Moral, going for 3 in a row. Can he do it? Yes he can. This week it is in race 10, number 3 on the lead for the Richard and Michael Friedman stable, James McDonald. It should have won last start, got too far back, but it should be winning this start, guys. J-Mac, third up, 1,000 metres, good form. If it runs to the way it ran against Wild Ruler and Andermatt last start, only getting beat 5.8 legs, 8.6 and 1.3 legs of Wild Ruler, Isotope and Wild Rule and Andermatt. It should be winning this race, guys. Jumps from a great barrier. Drops 1 kilo from his last start, back to a better track than Gosford. So that'll be it. Race 10, number 3 on the lead. Good luck, guys. The Mug has made his decision on what team he has picked. He is going for both teams. He couldn't decide, so he's just going to go straight down the middle. Good luck to both teams in the live stream on the weekend. And boys, what does the Mug say after every win? Go find your bookie.
Well, he sounds confident. Our man,
The Mug.
Race 10, number 3 on the lead, $3.20 with TopSport. It could be the last leg of a bit of a Hail Mary multi for us.
5, race number 10 at Randwick. That's going to be a marathon day for us there. So, yeah, it might be the end of a Hail Mary for us if we need it.
He is a bit shirty that he didn't get a start on the Bet Doctor roster, old mug punter. He's got splinters. He doesn't know which team to bet on, so he's going to bet against TopSport, and he thinks both of us can get the chocolates there. Let's have a look at the best bets. There was nothing for the big bet or the early mail followers last week, but it's usually a happy hunting ground. You can get some good steam here, and the first bet is in the Silver Eagle. It's race 7, number 2. Exo Boom is the horse from the Snowden Yard. Clippo is on this one. It's been 17 into $14, and there's 400 at $16 here. Count Rupee, Ellsberg, Vangelic, Equation, Amish Boy heads north, gets J-Mac. Tricky little race.
Yeah, it looks pretty open, that one, doesn't it? Exaboom had a bit of a boom around him, sort of early last aspiration. He didn't kind of live up to it, so maybe this is kind of the race he's been set for, and then get the ticket into the big one.
That's about the odds you want to be taking a Snowden runner up there at the moment anyway. So very...
Bit quiet.
Bit quiet.
The next one we've got is Head of State from the Waller Yard, race 8, number 1, the Spring Champion, 1,000 at $4.80 there. So
Just spoke about it.
yeah, well, it's into $3.90, so they've shot well at this stage. The next one is in the Guineas, race 8, number 2 is Artorias, 1,500 at $4. So we've discussed that too. Needs a bit of a luck from a sticky draw, and this one could be my bet actually. Race 9 in the Toorak, number 2, Superstorm,
Yeah,
513. I think that might be just a slight spoil. I anticipate it might start a little bit shorter. I think all the money early is for I'm Thunderstruck, but those looking to try and get that horse beat might find Superstorm going to be rock hard fit, likes the track.
Bob seems a bit of a Bob setup, doesn't it?
Because it's a big spook favourite too, like plenty of value around outside of the favourite there.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that one washes out. Ollie, that might be the right Ollie. I'd rather take Ollie around that price point rather than the shorts of the Animo. He's
You're always pulling Ollie's tail.
Rightly so. I think he's just overbet. So if you look around Ollie...
I'm a big Ollie fan. I find him
He's a gut. It's a gut. It has been. He's been how old? He's my age, so he's
killing it.
Yeah, he's still going strong, the old. And that's his camp. That's his camp. He's put his eggs in that Godolphin camp, so he's got to make the most of it.
Good luck to him. All right, it's going to be a fascinating day on Saturday. Make sure you check out the stream details. We'll have our heads in the puntingform.com.au databases, and we'll be looking at the sectional times, the benchmarks, the lanes, the bias. It's all there. So make sure you check out puntingform.com.au if you want to take your betting to the next step. But bunker down now, Nico. Head in form, just the usual week for everyone.
It's going to be pretty usual, to be honest. Head deep in the form for Hamilton, probably more so than usual, but also have a little look at Randwick and see if we can find a bet for the punters.
DK, you'll be head first into Hamilton.
And we got that kite meeting that got called off on Monday was been now a Donald meeting on Sunday, so that's a result. Not betting at Donald, and I think it might be one at Benalla Friday, and so a bit happening, hopefully.
Might chime into the stream halfway through, have a couple of reds.
Could do that. Sounds like a plan to me.
If the red arrives.
We've got a little visitor here, Avery. A little one floating around there.
It's going to be a cracking weekend of racing. It's a double group one day, Sydney and Caulfield. So we've got the battle on. So make sure you check that out. Sign up TopSport and get involved in the bang, or just watch the YouTube stream. It'll be fascinating if you want a question for the boys in play on a Saturday, and you can see us all go at it. It's going to be great stuff on Little Birdie TV. But that's it for us, and we'll see you Saturday.